Buonasera a tutti, hello everybody and welcome to this first masterclass about Prosecco DOC. Consorzio Prosecco DOC is really important and one of the most famous in the world probably. So I would like to thank the Consorzio Prosecco DOC and also say hello to my friends connected in the other parts of the world, so New York, Miami and Toronto and Chicago. But please, first let me introduce the director of Prosecco DOC, Luca Giavi. Buonasera.
Buonasera a te, grazie a tutti, grazie a te per presentare questa serata da noi, questa giornata negli Stati Uniti e in Canada. Grazie a quanti sono intervenuti qui e quanti sono intervenuti negli altri paesi. Per noi è un piacere essere qui alla Milano Wine Week. Abbiamo scelto un tema che è in qualche modo coerente con quello che oggi il Consorzio e il Prosecco soprattutto rappresentano nel mondo, ovvero un connubio tra tradizione e innovazione, e quindi andremo a assaggiare 6 campioni di prodotti ottenuti da alcune delle nostre aziende, che ricordiamo sono 350 le case spumantistiche che imbottigliano Prosecco, un Prosecco ottenuto da circa 12.000 viticoltori, quindi un territorio che con questi produttori riesce a portare nel mondo l'anno scorso anno oltre 500 milioni di bottiglie che avranno modo di gustare grazie alla tua disponibilità. Grazie e buona serata a tutti.
Grazie. So I also introduce myself. My name is Cristina Mercuri. I got my diploma in WSET some years ago. Now I am wine educator, of course, so it's my job, and I hope this this masterclass will be quite interactive. So please stand up your hand or just tell me if you need some clarification, you want to ask something, because I would like to give you the best information as possible. So we can start with the beginning of our presentation. Let me verify if it's working. Why is it not working? Okay, here we are. So, first of all, we start from the beginning. So, where is Prosecco land located? Prosecco is quite a wide area. It's more or less 24,000 hectares and is considered quite wide and very diverse. So you have lands that are quite in the hillside, lands that are quite in plain. So there are so many different slopes, and this can help also a lot of air to circulate. So this is quite a very unique and moderate climate, very important for the production of Glera grape and the other native grape that will be used in the production of Prosecco. So as you can see, we are in the northern eastern area of Italy. We are in the middle of Veneto and Friuli, so these embrace 2 regions of Italy. And why I would like to start from the beginning, from an historic information, just to give the proof that even in the Romance area and even in the historic parts of our history, the people were drinking Prosecco. So it was actually quite different from now, of course, but the importance is that also this city there, Prosecco, is the homeland of everything. As you can see, the time goes by and there are many documents that prove that people there were drinking wine from Glera and wine from Prosecco. So the importance here is not only to give the value of the wine itself, but also the importance of the name, the protection of the name that Consorzio Prosecco can give as an intellectual property also, so as something that is more legal. We go in the quite modern area, in the quite modern time, and we have the born of Prosecco DOC in 2009. as you can see, the PDO system in the old world, especially in Italy, is quite different from the one you can have in the new world. The AVA system in USA, for instance, the system of origin of South Africa, Australia, and things like that. Because here, since the production in Italy is quite important from the very, very ancient ages, we needed a sort of protection and a sort of delimitation. So as you can see, there are a lot of rules that are applied for the production of Prosecco DOC that helps protecting the quality and the style of the wine. So we have a delimitation of the production area here. You have also the name and the characteristics of the grape varieties that are allowed for the production of Prosecco DOC. Then you have also a set of rules in viticulture and also in winemaking. So you have also some labeling rules in order to communicate in a very constant, in a very consistent way among the Prosecco producers, because as the director has said before, we are around 500 producers, 500 alternatives of Prosecco. So, why is Prosecco so important? And how do you recognize the Prosecco quality? So, Prosecco DOC is also a sort of label, a government label that you can find on the bottle, on each bottle of Prosecco. So this information is quite important, not only for the people that are here with me in Milano, but also for the people that are connected in America, in Canada. Because here you can recognize the authenticity of the wines. So be aware of this, especially label that prove that the wine comes from the Prosecco area and not from somewhere else. Now I'm very glad to talk about a newborn. I am fond of it. I go quite crazy for rosé actually, but Prosecco DOC rosé is quite unique because you will taste later, but you will recognize that yes, the style of Prosecco DOC is fresh, youthful, quite aromatic, so it's quite entertaining, so you can drink it anytime. But the rosé is something that is, yes, fresh and light, but with a more structure, so it's also more gastronomic wine. Here you can see that it's very, very young. So at the end of 2020, the government allowed for the export of Prosecco DOC rosé, and we will see just later how huge the impact of this export is in the other area of the world. Before starting drinking, I know you are quite thirsty. Here are some rules that I'm sure that you know them, but just to have a recap of the rules that have to apply to the labels. So you have to find the name of the DOC, so Prosecco Denominazione di Origine Controllata, DOC. Then you will find the information about the style, the typology. So if it is a rosé, it has to be written in the label. And then you have also the other information about the residual sugar, about the capacity, the alcohol, the ABV, and things like that. Okay, some numbers. Around 24,000 hectares, as I said before. Around 1,190 producers and 11,000 viticulturists. So there are around 350 sparkling wine houses. So it's quite a big thing. And so how do you preserve the quality of the wine? You preserve with the consorzio. And the consorzio is tutela del Prosecco DOC, so the tutelary consortium based in Treviso, and is very, very aware of the protection of the quality, the labeling, and everything related to the style of Prosecco in all the world. As you can see, before moving on the rules of Prosecco Consortium, you will see that it's quite capillary in other areas of the world. So you are quite you feel secure. You feel safe. But please, now let's move a bit on the territory, on the region. Of course, it's easy to say that Italy is beautiful, but this particular part of Italy, this area of production, is beautiful not only for a viticulture point of view, but also for culture and historic point of view. You see there is Venezia, Padova, Vicenza, Trieste. There are many, many towns, many, many cities that made the history of Italy in the world. Here is Venezia. And here we start talking about the factor that affects the style and quality of the wines of Prosecco. There are, of course, natural factor and human factor. We start with the natural factor. So we are in the middle between the influences from the sea, the Adriatic Sea on the south, and the mitigating and cooling breeze from the Dolomitic. So we have really experience a moderate climate with cooling influences. This is crucial to produce sparkling wine. Also consider that, as I told you before, there are different slopes, hillside, different aspects of the plot of the vineyards. This is crucial for the ripening of the grapes. So the grapes, you see that they don't rush into becoming ripe. They will experience a longer ripening period in order to achieve a perfect balance between high acidity but the good concentration of the fruit. So the aromatic side also is well preserved. What about the soils? What about the diversity? So, as I told you, the area is quite wide. So you experience really a different soils. And which is the peculiarity? That many producers actually have different plots in different areas. So they can blend. They can blend wines from different locations in order to achieve balance, complexity, and a longer finish. So to achieve quality of the wines. The harvest can be both hand harvest or machine harvest. You all know that now there are many, many machines that will really provide a preserved grape, a bunch. There are many machines that have a scanner in order to select the best bunches. And this is important, in my opinion, because when the grapes are ready to be harvested, they need to be harvested quite fast. So to have a proper machine, to have a high-tech machine, is useful to preserve the crunchy quality of the grapes. So, but which are these grapes? Everybody knows that Prosecco is made from Glera. Glera is considered a semi-aromatic grape variety. The bunch is quite big, but the skin is not so thick. And you need a bit of time in order to get ripe and to be harvested, in order to achieve the aromatic profile, but to preserve the acidity. You can do Prosecco, you can produce Prosecco also adding a small percentage of other grapes. Which are the other grapes? Those displayed in the slide. So we have Pereira, Verdiso, Bianchetta. In some cases, you can use also Chardonnay. But here, I would focus with the very first grape. Last year, with the introduction of Prosecco DOC Rosé, you can use in blend with Glera a short percentage of Pinot Noir, up to 15%, no more than 50%. This gives this peculiar color that we will see later in the tasting. how it is made. So we discussed about the natural factor, now we discuss about the human factor that affect the quality and the style of the wine of Prosecco. Of course, we talk about Charmat method. It's a tank fermented sparkling wine. So you obtain the base wine. Many cases, I would say the majority or even the totality of the wines are fermented in stainless steel or inert vessel, at least, with temperature control in order to preserve the primary aroma. Then the wine go into the tank that are closed with sugar and and yeast. How much sugar? Usually 24 grams per liter. But here, the peculiarity is that you can add a little more of sugar in order to achieve the residual sugar of the wine. So the second fermentation takes place, the winemaker controls the pressure and the ongoing of the fermentation. When you reach the desired residual sugar, that can be brut, extra dry, dry, you stop the second fermentation, you filter, you keep the wine with the lees around 30 days, but I would say that many producers usually keep the wine longer in order to give a texture, to give mid-palate weight, to give structure of the wine. Because the lees, after the fermentation, they can contribute to the mid-palate weight and to the texture of the wine. Then you can bottle the wine under pressure, of course, to preserve the bubbles. You do a lot of job and then you stop without bottling under pressure. So it's not kind, I would say. And then the product is ready to be drunk. Okay, how many styles of Prosecco you can have? Quite a lot, actually. You can have a still, so in Italian is tranquillo, so it's a still wine. Is a fizzy, so frizzante, and you can have lesser atmosphere, less bar in the bottle, not 4 or 5 bars, in order to have a lower impact of the bubble in the mouth. And then you have the sparkling. So sparkling have more than 3 bars and around 11% ABV. You will say that here you have also the residual sugar that are usually produced, and the most famous is always the brut, but also the extra dry. Extra dry is considered between 12 and 17 grams per liter, more or less. But you will say, no, it's sweet, I don't like it. No, you don't feel it is sweet because of the natural factor I told you before, because of the grape variety itself, the wine maintain a very high acidity. So it's a high, sharp, and crisp acidity. And so you need sugar in order to balance. Any question till now? Everything okay? You like it? Okay, meno male. And now, a bit of numbers about Prosecco di Occido Rosé. As I told you before, you add Pinot Noir in the blend. It's complementary that Prosecco di Occido Rosé is vintage. In Italian, you say millesimato. That means that all the grape that you find in the bottle comes from one only harvest. You don't blend with the vin de réserve. You know, you can blend with vin de réserve in order to achieve consistency of the style. So it's the signature of the winery that you preserve using the vin de réserve. In this case, in order to highlight the terroir, in order to highlight the speciality of each vintage, the rules set forth for Prosecco di Occido Rosé tells that you have to produce each different vintage. So it's the name of the vintage is displayed in the label. Also in this case, you have the majority of extra dry, but we will taste tonight other examples. So we will taste also brut and extra dry as well. in order to see the differences. Okay, as I told you before, the area is quite wide, but also there are a lot of bottles that are consumed here in Italy, and when we taste, we will discuss about consumer perception, but also consumer attitude and commercial appeal. So when do you drink this wine? Why would you drink these wines? So we will discuss about it. I would like also to have your opinion on that. But many bottles are exported, fortunately. So that's why Prosecco is a sort of fil rouge. Prosecco never end. You always can enjoy a glass of Prosecco. As you can see, the majority of export of Prosecco DOC is in UK, USA, and other region of the world. Now we will start tasting. So, as I told you before, if the Prosecco itself is joyful, easy to drink, refreshing, aromatic, the Rosé is more complex, more structured, so it's a bigger palate, bigger body. The diversity of the climates, microclimates, the soil, the diversity of the expression of the style. So you have extra dry, you have extra brut, you have a rosé, you have different style of Prosecco. Make Prosecco very versatile, also in the kitchen, also on the table, so you can drink and eat and pair with food in any occasion. Actually, personally, I like to drink it by itself, but I'm not everybody, so I know that many people will enjoy tonight a nice glass of Prosecco with something different. I will give you some suggestions later. Okay. As I told you, the protection of the consortium is quite active in the rest of the world, so I'm proud to say that, and to say that you can drink Prosecco and be safe that this is a real Prosecco. A very important thing to be said is the aim of Consorzio to move towards a more and more sustainable environment. The reduction of the carbon footprint is an issue. So you know, everybody knows that climate change is objective, and everybody knows that everybody can do something to fix it or to adapt in order to reduce the impact of the human activities. So this is very beautiful, and I'm proud to say that, because many consortia, and especially Consorzio Prosecco, is working on the reduction of the carbon footprint. Here it is the future of Prosecco. So the work on quality, I think that you can taste them tonight, and maybe it's already achieved, but we can discuss it. Sustainability, social, economic, environmental sustainability. So you know that sustainability is a three pilaster. So you have environmental, yes, but you have also social and economic. You have to do something for the society in order to employ people, in order to let the people of the community benefit of your activity, and also, of course, the sustainability have to be economical. Otherwise, you cannot work on the other component of the sustainability itself. Protection of the Prosecco name, and of course, the promotion in new markets. Now, I know you are tasty. I'm sorry. I hope you are ready to drink with me this wonderful selection of wines. I would like to say that in Toronto, the order of tasting is quite different. So I would recap. In Italy, we have Piera 1899, Valdo, Masottina, La Marca, Paladin, Albino Armani. While in Toronto, Valdo is actually Villa Sandi, and Paladin is Valdo Rosé. So there are not all the wines. The wines are quite different, but I am here to explain both. Even though I don't taste them, I know them, so I can help you understanding the wines. So everybody has the first glass of Prosecco, the 1899, the Piera 1899 is a Prosecco frizzante, Prosecco DOC frizzante, and the name is Blue Giovello. Blue Giovello is a mix of giovane e bello, so it's young and beautiful. And I would say I like it because this expressed really the freshness, the easy-to-drink style of Prosecco frizzante. I didn't taste it before, I will taste it together with you, but simply looking at the bottle, I would say, okay, I like it. I can bring it with me in a boat in the afternoon, well refrigerated, and enjoy it on a very easy afternoon on a boat. Okay, let's taste it. As you can see, the appearance is really pale lemon. Bubbles are really gentle on the appearance, but we will taste later. In the nose is quite intense, but not very pronounced. So it's very gentle, refreshing. You can see the citrus aroma, a touch of pineapple, not very ripe, a touch of peach, and some white flowers. I would say it's quite a simple wine, but with aromas that are very well defined, very concentrated. You can define it very easily in the nose. We can taste it. As you can see, the residual sugar that is around 15 grams per liter is very well balanced with a high acidity. The acidity is high, it's refreshing, it's not sharping, it's quite pleasant in the mouth. So also the bubbles, the perlage is very soft, it's very gentle. And as I said before, looking at the bottle, this is a very, very easy to drink, easy to approach wine. What do you think? You like it? Yeah, why not? Yes, I see your I'm sorry that in the other part of the world, in USA, in Canada, they cannot see the faces of the people in front of me, but they are saying yes, yes, they like. Okay, let's move on to the second one. In Italy, we taste Valdo Marca Oro, that is this one. Okay. In Toronto, we will taste Villa Santi, il fresco, brut. Now, let's focus a bit on Valdo. Valdo is quite a well-known, actually, winery. Is quite ancient because it's owned by Bolla family since a long time, and is inspired by the name Valdobbiadene, but is quite spread around the denomination and also the Prosecco DOC area. Valdo has a very nice focus on sustainability, on the impact, on organic way to treat the vineyards. And I would like to get the opportunity to talk about also the other forum that you will have the opportunity to participate, to join. That we will discuss a lot during Milano Wine Week about climate change, sustainability, also in Wine Geek Symposium, also in Wine Generation. So we will have many opportunities to discuss about sustainability. I'm very happy to see that the Consorzio Prosecco DOC and also each single producer are going to do something to fix it. Okay, let's concentrate on the glass. Again, as you can see, very pale color, so you understand how the protection during the winemaking against any oxidation is well achieved in the glass. Here the nose is quite more intense there is quite pronounced aroma, is very, very well refined with a touch of sage, with a touch of lemon, with a touch of peach, acacia flowers. There is a touch of garriga, a touch of herbs. Very, very nice. But of course, it's youthful and sound. Looks very refreshing. Let's taste it. Indeed. As you can see, the bubbles are in the mouth. They are very gentle. The acidity is really high. But again, you don't see it a lot. You don't feel it because there is 12 grams per liter residual sugar in the bottle in order to get the balance. So in this one, you get the balance, you get the intensity of the fruit that you find also in the mouth. Again, you find the apple, you find the pear. You have the complexity because there are all primary aroma, but there are many aromas you can detect in the glass. The finish is quite long. I feel it. So I would say this wine is a more gastronomic wine. Obviously, it's quite delicate in the body, so it's considered a lean body, no? So I would suggest to pair with some vegetables, some appetizer, some pasta with the vegetables, or very light fishes. Okay. Before talking about consumer attitude and commercial appeal, I would like also to go with the other wines. But first, let's discuss a bit about Villa Sandy. Villa Sandy is the wine that our friends connected in Toronto are tasting. And here, you see that the residual sugar of 14 grams per liter is, again, very well balanced. There is a dry finish here. I use this wine in some of my lessons, so I know it very well, but it's very typical of Prosecco DOC. It's very, I would say, scholastic. Everything is in the right place. It's intense, it's pronounced, it's simple but well concentrated, high acidity, medium body, nice finish, a dry finish with some savouriness. And I hope you can give me some feedback from Toronto, since you are really tasting it. Okay, let's move on. Masottina. Masottina is owned by Del Bianco family. The name that they found on the historic palace of the company. And Masottina is a really nice winery. And Via Venti, that is the name of the product we are going to taste, that is this one, is quite refined as a label. I don't know what you think. Probably you have done many photos of this label before, but it's very essential, very refined. Via Venti is the name of the main street in Prosecco area, also in Conegliano. Masottina is famous because it's quite can provide the people with a wide range of style of Prosecco. So you can find different residual sugar, you can find different style, you also find the rosé example, so it's a really well-known and appreciated winery. Again, let's go in the glass. Very pale lemon color. Also here you find a pronounced nose, but it's more on the orange. There's more orange and lemon. There is a touch of apple. So when you put the nose in the glass, you expect something that's quite more gastronomic, quite more structured. Okay, let's taste. I was right. This is a really gastronomic style of Prosecco, and you see that the acidity here is a bit more sharp, a bit more tart. This is very, very nice paired with the main dishes, because the residual sugar here is very low, is 3 grams per liter. So basically, this is a dry white wine, is sparkling, the bubble is really gentle, so it's more on the body, is more a wine of structure. Maybe the others are more on the nose, no? They are more aromatic, they are more for the aperitif. In this case, here you find more vinous wine, so it's more big, it's more savory, it's more structure. You like it? Yeah. I like the people here, they are saying that it's gorgeous. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, let's move now with La Marca. Again, La Marca is composed by 8 wineries, so it's a cooperative, and it's quite famous because it can preserve the historical and typicity of the Prosecco with the high technology in order to give the best quality to the consumer. This best quality has been also awarded by the Drink Business Award in 2021, so it's very today, more or less, so in this year. And so I'm very, very curious to taste it today with you. Again, pale lemon color. I will not say anymore. Also because we moved to the rosé, so I will stop saying pale lemon color. In the nose. In the nose, this is more subtle. This is less intense than the other. This is still quite citrusy aroma, lime, lemon, the apple, the pear, on the white fruit. And also some white flowers, some acacia. We can taste. This is an extra dry, and you see it. So if you compare La Marca with Mazottina, you really see the difference in the palate. So Mazottina was a bit more structure. This one is a bit more abundant. There is more volume in the mouth because there is a much higher residual sugar. The acidity, the shape of the acidity in the mouth is quite different. Also, the bubbles are quite different. So I would like to suggest it as an aperitif. So if we go back to these 4 wines, I think that here you can prove the diversity of Prosecco style, because you start from a very sparkling, that is not sparkling, is fizzy, is frizzante, that is really, really easy to drink, a simple wine, very well made, with a good concentration, but easy to enjoy also in the afternoon. Then we move with different shape of Prosecco. We have different residual sugar, but we also have different location. So here you see that one is more gastronomic, one is more aromatic, one is bigger in body. So if you would like to describe the commercial appeal of this wine, for instance, if you have to suggest to your client, to your consumer, how would you explain the typicity of this wine? Well, I would start saying about something about the style. So I always start describing briefly the wines. So they are all semi-aromatic, but they are all from medium to lean body. They are all youthful and refreshing. They are all easy to drink, but then you see the differences. One is more savory, one is more approachable and easy to understand. One is also youthful but ideal without food. Others are perfect paired with different dishes. So you can say that you can talk about your wines in order to explain the diversity of these 4 examples of Prosecco DOC. Now we move to my joy. Rosé. So you know that rosé has got a boom. In the last years, the increase of consumption in the world of rosé wines, sparkling and still wines, has improved at 20% more or less. So it's a huge improvement on the consumption. And I'm very happy that Prosecco has been so smart, so intelligent to understand that consumer behavior is changing. Consumer really want more easy to drink wine, really want lower intervention wine, really want rosé wine. So it has been a very nice idea of the consortium to develop this production and in order to provide an alternative of other rosé. Both wines and also the Valdo Rosé that Toronto has, you can see that both of the wines are very light in the color. So I would say that is a delicate style of color, is a Provençal color. One of the other is more intense, yes, but there is not the dark color we were used to see in some years ago, in the rosé of some years ago. Nobody wants to drink something that look difficult to understand. People want something that is easy to understand, approachable. Okay, now we can taste. Okay, I will move on Paladin. Roberto Paladin is a special guy because he's really entrepreneur. So he's always up to date. He's other wineries, not only in Prosecco, but always provide for very typical wines. Here you can see that the color is pale. There is this gentle salmon color, and the bubbles are all around the glass. This is quite typical of Prosecco. You see that the nose is quite different from the others. Here you feel the pinosophy. I like this word. This is probably it doesn't exist, but it's very easy to transmit this pinosophy style. There is the red berry, the strawberry, the elegance of Pinot Noir here. You can feel it. But always really precise in the fruit. Let's taste. So this is considered brut. This is in the middle between brut and extra dry because it's around 12 grams per liter. But you feel that the sugar could be less because actually the acidity here is quite important. And what you see in the palate, there is a savouriness. The finish is dry, is chalky, and I like it because here you feel the salinity and the very gastronomic way you can pair this wine with some more complex food. Okay, in Toronto, they are lucky. We are very lucky, but also in Toronto they are lucky because they are tasting Valdo Rosé. As I told before, Valdo is a very big approach in the vineyard to be more and more sustainable, to be more and more friend of the nature. And you see also this in the wine they provide because they are not so polished, I would say. So you feel also the savouriness, the minerality, and you see that also this example of wine is really gastronomic. And now we finish with the last. I hope you will finish these glasses because I cannot finish. I will finish later, by the way. But I'm talking, so I cannot finish my masterclass like this. But I like it. I'm really having fun with you because I like talking about wines that I like. You know that being a wine educator means also talking about wines that are not perfect. But you have to be honest with the people and you have to deliver the objective things about the glass. You have to be gentle, you have to be honest. Here today is easy to be honest because they are good. So I like it, very nice. Yes. Okay, we finish with the Albino Armani. Albino Armani is quite famous because in around 1607, they started being viticulturists. You see the number 1607 is the date of the beginning of everything. Of course, they will not produce in wine since the 1850s, etc. But still, they are a very familiar managed company. So there is Albino, there is Egle. So they conduct the business and the winery all together. And again, here the color is quite different from the one before. So you see that the Prosecco DOC Rosé we had in the glass before is a bit paler. And this is, there is a touch of orange hue. In the nose. It's quite different from the other, eh? You see? Very, very much more like orange. Again, some sage, some apple, some pear. There is a lot of minerality here, a lot of savoriness. People that know me, they know that I don't use this word, minerality, because I'm very scientific on this side. So I only use this terminology when I feel the mix of salinity, bitterness, and acidity. This is a sort of mix to give this flintiness in the nose. And these have this touch of minerality I like. Here, the sugar is a bit higher, but again, you don't feel it. The taste of the wine is really intense, also in the mouth. There is this pronounced intensity of flavors with the lemon, but orange. I feel the orange more. And the finish is really longer. So you see that in all these 6 examples of the wines, you can have a lot of diversity. One region, different shades. And the journey of Prosecco is has a long history, but I think that in the future we will have also many other surprises because you can highlight this diversity not only in Italy but also in the rest of the world. So, I will not reveal my favorite, but I would like to listen to you. So there is a question here, just, okay?
So I know that the rosés are new, and I'm curious to know if anyone's making a 0 dosage rosé or maybe lower dosage rosé.
Now the trend is to produce brut or extra dry. There are some examples of extra brut. Actually, 0 dosage, no, it's not a thing now. Also because of the steep slope, because of the altitude, because of the nature of glera itself, you have too much acidity. So you have also to think about Riesling from Mosel. You need some residual sugar because the acidity is too high. So I think that maybe in the future we can think about some Pas d'Osé or Brut Nature. But now we have to keep the balance. For sure, the consumer trend is going toward the more and more dry style. So probably the future of Prosecco DOC, I don't know if the director is agree on that.
No, yes, I am agree, and I think that just only in some some millesimati.
Some vintage.
Some vintage, okay. It's only possible that we have also zero dosage.
Okay.
Because we need to have a balance between the
ripeness of the
yes,
fruit and the
yes.
acidity. So
it's
the
not so simple to
hotter,
have.
yeah.
Also for the white version for the Prosecco DOC, it's not so simple. The sugar is able to give to the wine all the wine more good than
more.
Forever a good Brutto, we need to have very high quality.
Yeah, and you consider that in hotter vintage you can have some sort of reduction of the residual sugar, but also the sugar, especially in the sparkling wine, is important because after the second fermentation and after the bottling, the wine is developing, so the wine is not stable. So the interaction with oxygen, if you have sugar inside the bottle, you have a sort of Maillard reaction, so you give more structure, but you get more complexity. So a touch of residual sugar, in my opinion, is crucial in order to develop also the wines in the future. Because you know you are accustomed to drink Prosecco today, and the following year, next year, you will drink the new Prosecco. But there are some cases where you can have a sort of tasting in older vintages, older style of Prosecco, because Prosecco, because of the acidity, if you can get also the concentration, so you have the power of the fruit, the concentration of the fruit on the side, the acidity that gives the structure, then you have enough body in order to develop in the future. And in this case, sugar will help on this. Okay. Other question? Yeah.
Thank you. Excellent presentation. I loved the taste of all of the Prosecco, but the marketing question I will ask is the blue bottle. It seems like, except for the rosés, the others tried to be like champagne. The message was, you know, classic champagne label and bottle. But I love the blue because if I wanted a Prosecco, I would
Go for that.
Yes, and the name, the bottle, color, everything. So if you could speak to maybe the new trend in Prosecco.
Yeah. Indeed, I agree with you because this bottle is nice for many reasons. So it is blue and is quite attractive, especially for younger consumer, because millennials and Gen Z, they are very attracted by color, and the screw cap is very also more sustainable because you can recycle it quite easily. So I like the bottle. I think that from a marketing point of view, there is a lot of potential in this bottle, and also the content of the bottle is nice. So you have actually the balance of both. More traditional label, more I don't say austere, is not austere, but more historic label, no, more classic, and the new wave of Prosecco. I think that others producers also are changing a bit the labels in order to get more get closer to the consumer, because consumer is asking exactly this kind of label. Other question from, yeah.
Yes, we have 3 questions from Chicago. The first one is, when did they change the law to allow Prosecco to allow screw cap?
When? For frizzante, I think that there are no specific requirements for the cork versus the screw cap. So I think that it's more a matter of sensitivity of the producer. For frizzante and still, in the disciplinare, so in the rule, is not set forth that you need to use a natural cork. So they can apply different kind of closures because they are allowed. Different thing is for the sparkling, because in the sparkling you need this specific natural cork I mean, you can use the diam, the more technological cork oh yeah, okay, but you cannot use screw cap or plastic cork. This is ruled. Only on the sparkling wine is necessary.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, does the consortium see value in encouraging and promoting Prosecco col fondo, and do you believe the col fondo trend will catch on in the international markets?
Okay, we are talking about Prosecco DOC. Prosecco col fondo is more peculiar of the other two region, because you know that Prosecco DOC is one delimited area. Then you have other consortium and other region that is Prosecco Conegliano Valdobbiadene and Asolo Prosecco. In those areas there is more this trend. This trend is also here with the rifermentato, the bottle fermented style. And I would also ask Luca if you have some thought on this.
I apologize for my English, then I ask for the translation, thank you. Anche il consorzio anche la DOC prevede la tipologia del rifermentato in bottiglia. Ricordiamo che col fondo è in realtà un marchio registrato di alcune aziende. Anche noi lo permettiamo, è ancora una produzione molto limitata, ma è limitata perché è una tipologia che va accompagnata nel mercato, necessita di una narrazione, va spiegato sia nell'utilizzo, nel senso che se un consumatore la prende dallo scaffale e lo versa tal quale sul bicchiere rischia di rimanere un po' deluso per la presenza dei lieviti sul fondo, e quindi è un prodotto che noi guardiamo con grandissimo interesse. Noi abbiamo fatto tutta una campagna dedicata all'abbinamento tra il vino e la pizza, e io personalmente ritengo che il rifermentato in bottiglia sia l'abbinamento ideale, perché quella leggera presenza di lieviti bene si accompagna con le paste fermentate, quindi con prodotti come la pizza, con i pani lievitati, eccetera, eccetera. E quindi noi riceviamo grande attenzione. È un prodotto che necessita dell'attenzione di chi lo somministra nei ristoranti e chi in qualche modo lo commercializza. Il nostro sistema produttivo comunque è sempre pronto a produrlo se c'è una domanda.
Sorry. Okay, we are very lucky to have Luca here, because he can explain very in deep what the consortium is going to do for the future. Yes, I do believe that the rifermentato in category, there is not so clean in the bottle, but you have a different profile, is something that will grow in the future, because the consumer is more and more aware of what they drink. So there is more consciousness. The wine education is spreading, so people is ready to get this peculiar, particular style of rifermentato in bottiglia, so second fermentation in bottle with the lees.
Last question from Chicago. Have Prosecco stock levels returned to normal from reported shortages in recent years?
In recent, I just listened to a very nice speech from Luca this morning, and actually, no. So yes, there has been a disruption in the supply chain, but fortunately, Prosecco DOC survived. Anzi.
E noi prima della vendemmia di quest'anno avevamo una grossa preoccupazione sui risultati che avremmo ottenuto in campagna.
In the vineyard, but now, based on the data we have, will be clearer next week. We are moderately more optimistic. So there won't be large production volumes, but something more compared to the pre-harvest forecasts. And then, like all nice things, we'll have to wait for it, and then the wine from the next harvest will be
indeed, because
something that we will appreciate a lot.
Occasion of consumption, they change. So we are not more on the wave where Prosecco were consumed only in special occasion with people in parties. We consume Prosecco more or less every day. So people is changing, consumer is changing, they change their habits, and so Prosecco is going more and more to be a daily drink because it's as I said, it's easy to understand, it's refreshing, it's sparkling, and also the trend in the growing of the sparkling segment is quite a thing, no, in the recent months, in the recent years. Any more questions? Yeah, so, okay, I hope you enjoyed the masterclass on Prosecco DOC with me, and please, make me happy. Share something, some pictures, some stories, something on the social tag Prosecco DOC, Prosecco DOC Rosé, Taste Prosecco, Italian Giglio. And if you want also, you can tag also Milano Wine Week, Cristina Mercuri, that's me. Anything you would like, because we need to spread the incredible value and typicity of these nice, very nice wines. So, thank you very much and see you very, very soon.